In the previous video you saw, the first was a static test of our Q impulse motor, the first stage booster for the space shot, and in the second video you're getting a view from our balloon launch platform at 106,640 feet, or about 21 miles into what's called near space. The animation you're watching is a simulation of the launch from the balloon platform and the flight profile of the spacecraft into orbit around the Earth. Later in the video, you will see photos of the spin launcher and the actual satellite we plan to orbit the Earth at least 9 times. It's popular belief that if you shoot a rocket into space that it goes into orbit. This is not true. In order to stay in orbit, a rocket has to achieve about 17,500 miles per hour, or Mach 25, to stay in orbit. So its centrifugal force will equal that of the Earth's gravity. If the International Space Station were to stop in orbit, it would fall directly back to Earth, and Earth's gravity is still 98% of what it would be if you were standing on the surface. The only reason the astronauts are weightless in orbit is because they're falling around the Earth fast enough to be weightless. Because there is no air in space, spacecraft can remain in orbit for a very long time. Our very small satellite transmits a signal and a call sign, as well as the temperature. There is enough battery life for 32 hours of operation, and our goal of 9 orbits takes only about 14 hours, as the satellite will make an orbit every 90 minutes.
$20,000 to launch a rocket into space. One of your neighbors is taking a shot at it. He shows us just how serious he is.
So you've always been sort of a space junkie then?
Always.
Nothing Monroe Lee King is ashamed of.
I'm a regular geek.
Learned everything he knows from his dad. He was using existing technology to launch a rocket, much like the one you see here, into orbit and have it circle the Earth 9 times. Sort of like this. But instead of launching it from the ground, he'll float it up first.
What we wanted to do was we were going to launch from a balloon. This is like a balloon launch platform.
Once that rocket gets 20 miles into what's called near space, the rocket will blast off.
And our rocket goes to space. There's another stage at this point, and this is when we go into the orbit trajectory.
Sounds pretty convincing. Convincing enough for sponsorships and support from a league wanting to make history right along with him.
Oh boy, that was interesting. I went through a lot of people on the internet because you never know who's really interested and who's not.
A team whose goal shoots beyond space travel.
We also want to start an aerospace company so that we can get commercial satellites into orbit quicker, cheaper.
On the quick and cheap, Monroe spent one sleepless night whipping up this model for us to look at of what will eventually travel into space.
We had to have something to show you, though.
A show that could lead to living out a dream he could very well launch into reach.
My whole idea is I want to retire in near space and just enjoy the view.
With one of your neighbors?
Be on the ocean of space.
Christina Chavez.
Right on the beach.
News 8 Austin. Monroe says he plans to launch the rocket in March from Matagorda Island. That's in South Texas. Now you can keep tabs on Team Prometheus on the website. That's teamprometheus.org. And if you have one of your neighbors that's just out of this world, we want to hear from you. Send us a submission via our website. That's news8austin.com and just click on your news.